And we're down at the start of another of the new events for the women this year. It is the women's pair, Lanz and Rustenburg from the Netherlands and Hagan and Popa from Australia. So two powerhouses in women's sweep rowing, Australia and the Netherlands. I think this is going to be a very tight race.
Good clash of nations this, isn't it?
Winning women's Henley just a couple of weeks ago was Alex Hagan and Rosie Popa, both Olympians for Australia, competing in the women's 8 in Rio. That women's 8 getting the late call-up, of course, with the disqualification of the Russian crew, so the girls only found out it was about a week before that they were going to the Rio Olympics. So
amazing way to reschedule your summer, isn't it? Just got to fit in the Olympics, you know. That's fantastic. Slightly trailing here, aren't they? Just given a couple of lengths away early on. It can all change in the small boats, though. You can make some big comebacks, but they do want to make sure they stay in contact.
Yeah, the Dutch crew looking really smooth out in the front there. Seen a few crews from the Netherlands here, from the national team. Rosie and Alex both taking a year out of international competition and I guess evaluating what they might do next and whether they will continue. Alex competed in the women's 8 at the last 2 Olympics. I rode with her in London when she was the youngster on the team, but she was certainly one of the more experienced in that boat last year at the Olympic Games. But two very talented oarswomen and having a great time over here at Henley and probably evaluating what happens next for them. But it is the Dutch crew on the right-hand side of your screen that currently leads this round of the women's pair. Of course, the first day of competition in this event at the first Henley Regatta.
Must be nice, Sarah, for you to see them racing, actually. I'm surprised they didn't convince you to hop in a boat with them.
Yeah, look, never say never, but I'm happy to be in here watching them on screen and letting them do the workout on the course.
Hey, come on, Susan's out there.
That's true. That's true. A few of my contemporaries racing this week, but very happy to be watching them, like I say.
So just close on the stations here, actually. The Dutch just drifting a little bit, and you can see the puddles from the Dutch boat on the right just almost getting close to the puddles of the Australian crew, actually. So hopefully they'll both find their own stations and not impede each other. Yeah,
we can see a bit of a steering correction there from Alex Hagan and Rosie Popa on the left-hand side of your screen, rowing for Banks Rowing Club, which is down in Melbourne on the Yarra. Alex is originally from Western Australia, from Bunbury in fact, but she's relocated over to Victoria and racing and competing down there. Rosie Popa, she actually went to school in the US for 4 years, to Cal, and also rode for the US in the early stages of her international career before coming across to the Australian team. But in this Dutch boat here, we focus in on them, Monica Lanz and Lanz Rustenburg. And both athletes started their international careers at under 23 level back in 2012. And they were members of the Dutch Women's 8 that won a silver at the 2017 European Championships. Monica actually won gold at the 2017 World Cup in the Women's 4. And Lanz won silver in the Dutch women's pair. So certainly both campaigning internationally this year. We would expect that crews competing at that level would probably be having the performance that they are today. So a tough draw for Alex and Rosie, who aren't training at national team standard this year, but still doing a great job rowing for Banks Rowing Club against this national crew from the Netherlands.
Yeah, the Dutch are on good form, aren't they? Obviously, physically and technically. If you watch now, actually, you could just see them. When you were saying they look very smooth earlier, you could just sort of see how sort of horizontal they're rowing. So in a sort of, you look at the oars, they don't go too deep. They just cover the oar, the spoon of the oar, and then they just draw it nice and flat, actually, which means that they're being quite efficient. And that's obviously paying off for them here because they've got quite a nice, healthy lead over their opponents.
Yeah, and we saw them drifting over into the centre, and I guess particularly in a boat like the pair. I mean, I know if it was I steering a pair there, I'd be very nervous about those booms. So I think it takes a little bit of pressure off to just move slightly into the centre of the course and relax a little bit and know that you're not going to have any mishaps, because we have seen a few crews come to grief over the last couple of days on the booms.
Yeah, it's easy to forget that, because actually in the pair, obviously, one person is only controlling the power on one side, so it's very easy to just tweak it round and knock it off course. And then you've got one person with the steers foot. And again, sort of that the Australian crew just sitting a bit more in the middle there and a little bit in the wash, which doesn't always help, particularly when we were talking earlier about how it is very easy for these boats to twitch and go off course slightly. Yeah,
but the Dutch crew is starting to look really strong now. was a hard and fast start from both crews, but the Dutch really starting to relax, and that signature style. They've been so impressive for so many Olympiads now in women's sweep rowing, and I think a bit of a resurgence with a crop of young, talented women coming through in the Dutch sweep program.
Yeah, they've just got a good critical mass of numbers, haven't they? Just keep their sort of larger boat, the eights running and stuff, and they've obviously then in the pair here as well. They've just got enough athletes to keep rotating around and keep the standard up, which is what we're obviously seeing here. Good quality, good standard of rowing.
And still really going for it, Alex Hagan and Rosie Popa from Banks Rowing Club in Melbourne, Australia.
In the bright pink.
In the bright pink.
So yeah, their bright pink lycras matching their pink croker oars as well, almost.
Yeah, two really, really great women, Alex and Rosie.
So how will they? Hopefully they'll learn enough from this, and they'll obviously take this on board, and we'll see them again for this event.
Yeah, I think it'd be great to see them come back, and I mean it'd be great to see them back on the national team as well. So we'll wait and see what it is that they both do, but both of them, I believe, working and enjoying a bit of rowing, and not quite that national team level. So it's great to see them here enjoying their sport and competing at Henley Regatta in the women's pair for the first time. And I think that in itself is a really exciting thing, to be able to say that they competed in the women's pair the first time it was on at the Henley Royal Regatta.
Yeah, it's awesome, isn't it? And it just shows it's attracting the standard already. It's got good quality rowers in here. It's great. It's great for the regatta.
And coming down to the line now, it is Monica Lanz and Lanz Rustenburg from the Netherlands. In this round of the women's pair, defeating Alex Hagan and Rosie Popa from Australia. Great row there by the Dutch in the women's pair, and we look forward to seeing them in tomorrow's semi-final.